The statistics showed that 140,000 people were living in their car, but I assume now it's probably double.
And because of the out of control inflation that we're having in our country right now, and rent prices being over $1,500 a month, I have been outpriced at the rental market, and I live here in my car full time.
Hey, I'm homeless. I live in my car.
I've lived in my car for 11 and a half months, and today is the day that my car broke down.
Okay, so I am homeless.
I cannot afford to pay my mortgage. I cannot afford to buy groceries monthly. I cannot afford my car note. I cannot afford my light bill. I cannot afford to pay the water bill, to pay the cable, to buy clothes, to buy whatever I need for my vehicle. I cannot afford that. Right now, many Americans are facing those same words. I cannot afford this. I don't know where the economy is going right now, but many Americans are struggling to make ends meet, to buy the basic essentials for their families, to keep a roof over their head. Let's get into it. Welcome into the channel. Thank you for being here today. We're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you how a lot of Americans are actually keeping a roof over their heads right now. Many Americans are losing their jobs, whether it is in the government or in the private sector, or their hours are being cut, forced to work part-time jobs, side hustles, you name it, however they can get the money to come in. With that, they're being evicted from their apartments or their homes. Apartment searches are crazy right now. Just got through doing that with my son because he just moved into his first apartment. 1-bedroom apartments are $1,500 or more, depending on where you're looking for this apartment at. And they want double the rent. They want security deposit. They have extra fees in there for God knows what. And that's an apartment, not even a home to buy. If you're renting a home, it's even more expensive. You're paying over $2,000 for rent a month. And it's to the point where you probably are going to need to have maybe a roommate. You're probably going to need to maybe ask a family member, hey, y'all want to move in together, to make ends meet. Even we are having struggles with paying bills right now when we didn't have that issue before. And things are so high right now. Money is not flowing like it used to flow with my husband's trucking job. So we're thinking about filing for bankruptcy, chapter 13 to be exact. So don't think I'm just doing this video and showing you other people's life. Things are difficult for everybody right now.
I want to share something that I think a lot of people don't know, and I think you should know, especially if you're facing eviction and you don't have any way to pay your back rent. File bankruptcy. File a chapter 13 because you'll be able to keep your place and you'll be able to keep your car. So I'm gonna try to give you the fastest version of it. What they're gonna do is give you a trustee. So you're gonna pay your rent going forward, and then the trustee is what you're gonna pay. It's like a little installment that's gonna go towards your back rent and gonna go towards your car payment. So, and you automatically get an automatic stay. As soon as you file bankruptcy before the eviction process stops. Your case gets dismissed. You are not protected under bankruptcy, chapter 13. See if it applies in your state, but I know for a fact it works in New Jersey because my lawyer just told me about it, and I think way more people need to know about it. File chapter 13 if you want to keep your place and you can afford rent going forward.
Feel free to get in the comments and let me know what you think about the high cost of rent, the high cost of living, period. What you think about it down in the comments. And let's get into checking out some of the ways that people are coming up with to keep a roof over their head so they're not homeless.
Let's get to it. Alert, alert. This isn't just a story. This is an emergency. We're living in our car. my nearing 19-year-old son, our mango cat, and I. And what we are facing this Memorial Monday is being short $700 to $900. That is $500 to $600 for our car payment and one gas fill up. This car is our shelter, and including $200 to $300 to get our mango cat seen by a vet before it's too late. We only have 6 days now to catch up, and every second I spend making these videos, I am not working. But even when I do deliveries, they are not guaranteed to pay, and most of the time they do not. It's good to—
So if you guys are wondering why I started living in my car, when I was really young, I started going through some foster homes. I was taken out of my biological home for some very bad abuse. And I went through several foster homes over and over and over again. And each one of them, I never had my own permanent place to live. And so when I finally did get my own apartment, 2020 hit, and I could no longer afford living there. Living in New Jersey, it has such a high rate for apartments to live. A $2,000 apartment is just fit for a studio, and minimum wage is $15. It's not livable. So I just decided that living in my car was the best way to go.
I had a customer earlier today, got her approved, but she just could not, and I understand, just could not to afford the monthly payments. Let me tell you the reason why. Her rent by itself for a 2-bedroom apartment was $1,900. I'm like, wow, that's how much you pay. Yeah. And only bring home a certain amount. So you factor in people out here paying $2,000. I had one customer paying $2,800, $3,000 a month for a mortgage. That is absolutely insane. Just to pay for rent. $2,000-$3,000 for rent and mortgage. That's a lot of income. That's a lot of income going out. That's just by itself, not including car insurance and if you need a car and food. Inflation is just ridiculous.
I'm about to say may piss a lot of landlords off, but I don't really care at all. But I'm gonna read to y'all the qualifications that this person wants for this house. And it ain't an amazing ass house. We're not talking about anything super expensive. The rent, like I said, is $16.95, $40 application fee per adult. They want you to make 3.5 times the rent. Standard for whatever reason is 3 times the rent. When majority of Americans don't even make 3 times a $1,600 a month rent. I don't know where people just get up and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make this a national standard that people have to make 3 times the rent amount. Majority of people can afford 2 times the rent on a specific basic home like this. But this person is going even further. They don't want you to have 3 times the rent. They want you to have 3.5 times the rent. They want the last 2 years of your W-2s, the last 3 months of your check stub, driver's license or ID, social security card. They want you to make 2 months worth of rent as your security deposit before you even move in, and you have to have a credit score of at least a 670. I'm trying to tell you off the bat that disqualifies so many people from being able to be in a home that is decent. Let's add that up, why don't we? Off the rip, you have to pay first month's rent, $16.95. You have to pay $40 application fee per adult, and let's just say the standard adult is 2 adults, right? You have to pay, if you have a pet, which majority of people in Houston do have pets, dogs, it's a $250 non-refundable fee per pet. So let's just say you have a pet. We're going to add that up. And then you have to make 2 months of the rent to equal the amount of the security deposit. So that's $16.95 times 2. All right. And on top of that, we're not even talking about your utilities and all the things that you have set up. They want you to have rental insurance before you move in. Standard rental insurance is probably about $25 a month. Let's just say that. Before you can even move into this house, sitting in a savings account somewhere or just idle money, you already got to come off of this amount of money. I don't know at what point we stop being human though. even as an investor and a landlord, at what point did we stop being human and we say money trumps everything, including people?
These landlords have lost their everlasting mind. We have been living in this house for 2 years since relocating from South Florida. Faithful with our rent, paying on time. I don't ask for any maintenance because my husband was a maintenance supervisor and he's an HVAC technician. I'm hooked up. We get the renewal, and with all their bogus fees and all, they want to charge us $3,000. Mind you, just a few months prior, 4 houses down, the same house. It's twin. They rented it for under $1,900. Like, come on now. They had the nerve to answer back and say, we can lower it $50.
My paycheck was short $300. I can't pay my rent on time. My car insurance is past due. It's like over $300. I'm gonna practice what I preach because I know God's got this.
So yeah, y'all, I'm not the only one going through things. When you think you might have it bad, there's always someone that's going through even worse situations. And imagine having children on top of that while you're going through what you're going through. I remember back in 2020, was it 2020? Yeah. 2020, when we were in South Carolina before we moved here to North Carolina, we were renting a home and we had just signed our lease for, another year. And then 2 months later, the landlord, she was struggling and she was like, she needs to move home to her house because her rent was going up where she was living. And she had lost her job there. So she wanted to move back to her home. So guess what? We had to move. We had 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, to move. If that. And when I tell you the stress levels were insane, they were insane. I have a video on that. I'll probably link it and show you that. But listen, it was hard for us. But we managed to, some kind of way, it had to have been God, because there's no way we could have done it by ourselves. And so when you're going through stuff and you don't know how you're going to make it, all I can say is get on your knees and pray. Pray while you're working. Pray while you're driving. Pray with your spouse, because that's what we did. And that's when we saw actual things start to happen, when we started combining our prayer and being intentional with our prayer to God. So I know a lot of people are like, well, that's not going to keep a roof over my head at the moment. I'm facing eviction, but it doesn't hurt. It does not hurt to give it to God. But while you're giving it to God, make sure that you're also continuing to work, because faith without works is dead. You can't just give it to God and expect it to happen. You got to continue to work towards it, whatever it is that's going on in your life. So while times are difficult, we're going to have to continue with our life. We're going to have to continue to try to do what we can do on our end and know that God has us on the other end. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Definitely leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. And I'm just sharing what I'm going through. It's not easy to share it. It's very difficult because I'm holding on to it, but I have to release it. I have to release it because I know I'm not the only one going through struggles right now. And trouble don't last always. Trouble does not last always. So you guys, with that, I'm going to end the video here. Definitely, again, leave your comments down below. Hit the like button. Share this video out. That is the free way to help me. If you want to help me by donating to the channel, I have links in the description. PayPal, I have Cash App. I'm not asking for it because it is free to help me financially. If you just watch the video all the way through, any of the videos, hit the like button, share, and leave your comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because over here, I'm going to keep it real with you.
everything has gone up a bajillion dollars. So let's open my lease renewal and see how much my rent is going to be next year. This will be my 4th year going into this apartment lease. When I first signed, my rent was $795. And then it went up to $860. $899. $900 a month. You guys, I need to find a rich man. That's all.